Hello and welcome to this mini-sode of Skeindeer Knits. My name is Ellie and I am a Norwegian living and knitting in London. You can find me on Instagram as Skeindeer and as a designer on Ravelry as Skeindeer Knits, and by all means join the Ravelry group Skeindeer Knits as well. This is, like I said, a mini-sode. It's quite unusual from the usual format. Basically the reason being is that I am super busy this January. I have no time to record, so I pre-recorded the next episode, which means it's completely devoid of any announcements whatsoever. So I thought I'd make a video now just talking about the things I want to talk about. So there will be 4 things, and I want to just let you know up front, this is not the sort of usual cozy sit down knit with me a kind of episode. It's a mini-sode. It's like a half one sort of, where I just want to let you know about a couple of things that are going on in case you don't follow me on Instagram and such. So the first thing being, I have a birthday coming up. On the 22nd of January is my birthday. I turn 29, and because of that I thought I want to see if I can run like a shop sale. I have done that once before, but then I had only like 4 patterns out there or something, so I don't know if this is a thing I'm going to be doing. I'm just going to try it out this one time, I think, maybe. So there will be a code to get a discount for all the patterns in my Ravelry shop. I'll write it down below. Basically that means it will apply to everything I'm allowed to sell, so it will not apply to things sold through others that other people have the right to sell, like Underworld, Skeindeer, Nightfall, that is, Silvestre, those that are not for me to sell. But it should be applicable to other single patterns in my library, unless those single patterns are exclusive to a bundle, like the Mitten Club for this year. That's still going. So you just put things in the cart and then you can see if the code applies when you put it in. You don't have to commit to buying anything if that's if something you're concerned about. That's just kind of how that works. You can try out with a code, put things in your cart and see what it will total to before you commit to anything. So I just thought I'd try that. So yeah, it should apply to most of my patterns. Goodness me. And I hope you enjoy birthday sale. Yeah. So that's all I wanted to say about that. The second thing I wanted to talk about is a new pattern that I just launched today on the 18th of January, which is called Silvestre, I think. Don't ask me to pronounce Latin. I ran out of Norwegian words, you guys. It's a very small language. It's just not. Anyway, I am so excited about this pattern. It's a bit out of the usual. It's a lot out of the usual because it's released with Loop London. Loop is a yarn shop here in London that is amazing. It's world renowned. It gets all the knitting tourists coming here, and I am thrilled to be on board. Like, when I looked at the list of people who have published patterns with Loop before, I was a little bit terrified, I've got to say. You know, some big names up there. So I'm like clenching my clothes now. It's kind of that exciting. So Loop have been so generous to let me sell my pattern that they have worked on with tech editing, with layout, with photography, the whole thing, that I get to sell immediately on Ravelry to you guys, while they sell the physical print copy and kits. So you can choose between them. They profit from all the stuff that they sell and I profit from all that I sell, and it's super generous of them. So I want to give a huge shout out to Loop London for giving me this amazing opportunity. We started talking about releasing this pattern with their before the Christmas before last, and decided that actually waiting for the next knitting season is probably the best, because, you know, given the time it takes to develop a pattern, we would likely be launching it for the summer, which is completely pointless. So that's why it's taken quite some time. And I finished both mittens and the fingerless mittens that are, it's kind of like a 2-in-1 pattern, so to speak. So you can do either. And it's using Jameson's Spindrift, which is one of my favorite yarns that they stock at Loop. I'm just like genuinely floored that I get to be doing this. It was really fun to design the mittens as well, by the way. I had to run them by a lot of friends to be like, can you see what that is and that is when I'm charting it that way? Does it look like the thing that's supposed to be? It's a lot of fun trying to like spot all the different animals and plants and stuff and see if everything makes sense to you. Some things are just random flowers and branches, to be honest, though. Yeah, they're called Silvestre and they have forest animals on them. thus the name. And if you hold them together, it forms a full tree. It doesn't show in the photos from Loop, but if you look at my project photos on Ravelry, then you can see that they do that. It was pretty neat. So I am so grateful to Loop for letting me be part of this, for having them done all this for me. Moment of silence for the Silvestre mitts. That's how long I could be silent anyway. Thank you all so much for the kind words on Instagram when I launched them today. I've got no words. It's a lot of fun. And having said that, the last thing I wanted to cover in this video is related to a knit along. I don't know if you remember, but last year we ran the Break the Rules Cal. I thought this could be a series that we do every February because it's the shortest month of the year, it's sort of non-committal kind of thing, and I thought, yeah, the name could be Break the Rules and it will be a different subject. But I think what I want it to be is actually a branch out knit along more than anything. It's like get out of your comfort zone knit along, so to speak. And I have thought about this for a long time now, actually, since, the whole year, maybe the whole half year, especially over the autumn. I have gotten a lot of emails from specifically Norwegian customers who are quite confused that my language of choice in patterns is English and are quite hesitant about following an English language pattern, even though they know English. It's just not their comfort zone. And I thought, actually, this goes a lot broader than this. There's a lot of people, I think, or a lot of instances where people hold themselves back in knitting a pattern because it's not in the language of choice. And so, yeah, I thought the rules for this knit along could be knit a pattern in a language that you haven't knitted from more than 5 times. So I'm not really qualified myself, like I've knitted more than 5 Norwegian patterns and more than 5 English language patterns beyond that. Obviously I could find a loophole in Swedish and Danish, and I suppose I could try to interpret Faroese. I have a fairly good sort of idea of that. So that you can actually fit this cal to you, whatever you want to make it. If it's actually, I'm going to call it the second language cal, but if you want to go beyond that and actually go for a language you don't even know, then just put it into Google Translate and look up the terminology on YouTube, and you can do that as well. So I want to give this as a general advice to anyone considering taking part. If this is a cal that I do, I haven't decided, but I'm sort of sharing the idea with you guys, and you can let me know how you feel. You can, you know, in a pattern, in an English language pattern, in case you don't already know, they will usually have a word list. So if you don't know what, say, SSK means, and you look up the word list, you can find it there. It will be included in the pattern, I can almost guarantee you. But maybe slip, slip, knit doesn't mean anything to you. So if that is the case, you can write in something like SSK knitting on YouTube, and you should be able to find a tutorial that shows you how to work that. So, you know, the internet is so helpful in understanding the things that we could normally understand before, and personally it's been a huge experience to broaden up my horizons to patterns coming from outside of Norway. So I urge you to take part in this for whatever you want to make this cal to you. That was a terrible sentence. Yeah. If this is your take on learning a language you don't even know, if this is your take on just going with a language you know but haven't knitted from, it's up to you. The only criteria I want to put in is that this is a 2019 cast on. Whenever you started, I don't really care, but we're gonna wrap up the cal at the end of February, but I will have no finishing requirements. I hope you get a good work in. I wanted to actually have read the pattern, you know, but I'm not gonna demand that it's a proper finished FO, because it's a very short spanning cal. So let me know how you feel about the idea of running this knit along, because I haven't decided yet. It's an idea. I want to see how many are willing to partake, how many think this is their chance to branch out to another language in knitting. There will be a thread in my Ravelry group for this where you can get help. So maybe there's someone whose language you are knitting from is their native language, and you can ask them. And I realized some are maybe very concerned that since that thread is in English, then you have to write in English and you may not feel very confident in it. Don't worry, you are allowed to fail at English. Trust me on this. not the language police. If anyone's trying to police someone's language and writing there for being foreign, then they will hear from me. So rest assured, that's you know, it's entirely within the spirits of this knit along to try out a language you're not super comfortable with. So we're going to work with that if we decide to do this, if we, the royal we. If you think this is a good idea, if this is something you would want to take part in. So rambly today. Can you tell I've not talked to people for a while? Yeah. And thank you so much for watching.